Can you hear me right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Hello everyone, good evening. Um, Today we are going to see the basics of data cloud, not that much deep dive into data cloud because the entire concepts of data cloud cannot be completed within a 1 hour session or something, right? It is huge for 1 hour, so that we are going to touch down the basics of the data cloud, and we are going to see what is what, and then we are going to see the learning path for the data cloud consultant certification. um, I'll be sharing all the resources at the end in the end of the slide so that you can access the materials and start preparing for the data cloud consultant exam, as well as to learn. Even if you don't want to do the certification, you can use the resources to learn data cloud. Okay, let me introduce myself. I'm Jagadish. I have been working with Mastech since last 10 years, and I have been worked with several projects. Um, in the last year, I got certified in Data Cloud. Yeah, today I'm going to take this entire session. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, interrupt me. We'll have a Q&A at the end also. Okay. The motto of the session is to give you an overview of the data cloud if you are not already familiar with it, because a data cloud is such a vast concept. Just giving the overview will be helpful for those who are trying to get their hands dirty in the data cloud. Okay. Okay, this is our agenda. We are going to see the evolution of the data cloud, how it is how it got improved itself from one stage to another. Finally, today it is there as a data cloud, and then data cloud is data cloud is not same as the Salesforce. It is a different architecture entirely. How it is varies from the Salesforce architectural designing patterns. We are going to see that, and some data cloud core objects are there. We are going to see about them, and then few data cloud terminologies. Um, you could hear about segmentation, activation targets, harmonization, and then unified profiles like that, right? We are going to see what are them with the practical examples of how to apply those in the real world, how they are being applied in the real world too, so that we can use the data cloud feature. And finally, by combining all these features provided by the data cloud, how the data cloud works, just a pictorial representation. And then we are going to see how, as a consultant, how can I learn the data cloud? Um, because Salesforce, we know as Salesforce developer, it is constantly changing. Also, their documentation pages are also constantly changing, right? So that we need to be keep updated about the data cloud, so that I have shared few resources which you can use. Okay. Here it is the evolution of data cloud. Um, in the very beginning, marketing cloud platform was the only one platform that used data cloud, which is um, revolutionaries to use data cloud in across all the Salesforce environment. Initially, we used only the data cloud in the marketing cloud platform in the name of Salesforce CDP. In the year 2020, it was introduced as a customer 360 audiences. Okay, and then the 2021 it is called the Salesforce CDP. CDP is meant for customer data platform. Okay, where they used it to view the 360 view of customers in the marketing cloud. And then and then it is called marketing cloud customer data platform. These are the renames of the same customer 360 audience. We all know how Salesforce also keep changing per every quarter, right? In the name of spring, winter releases. Similarly, the data cloud also is being kept updated, so that in the year of 2022, Dream Salesforce. They have named it as Salesforce Genie, and now it is called Data Cloud with all the facilities. And it is also released to use outside of the Marketing Cloud for all the Salesforce platform. Okay. This is the evolution of the data cloud that is being used from the 2020 to 2023. Okay, let's move to another slide. Okay. Here we comes the difference between the Salesforce and data cloud. Salesforce we know that handles several bytes of data, that is up to a gigabytes of data. We know we are able to process 5 million records in a query in the batches, right? So that it can handle several GB of data in the all the objects. But Salesforce is not that much capable to handle the petabytes of data, which is nearly more than terabytes and petabytes. Salesforce is not capable to handle that, right? That's where the data cloud comes into picture to handle this large volume of data, so that um, the existing Salesforce environment cannot handle those such large volume of data, right? So that that is one of the um, advantage of data cloud. What to say, it is advantage so that it can handle large volume of data at a time. Okay. And also we know how we use data retrieval in Salesforce. We use Sockle to retrieve data, right? We all know the query performance when we query from the LWC in from or from the developer console. The retrieval data, if it is more than 10,000 record, that the retrieval will take more time, right? But when it comes to a petabyte of data, the retrieval needs to be fast. It need to query each and every rows, right? So that it should support a fast retrieval of data for the handling of data, right? So that the data retrieval speed need to be improved, and also it should support more data types. We know what all the data types that supported in Salesforce, in Boolean, integer, data, date, and several types. And apart from Salesforce, Data Cloud supports some few nested data types too. That's how the um, entire data cloud is being designed, which is not available in the our usual Salesforce database. And also when it comes to data cloud that handles several data from the different data sources, there must be some interoperability between the records, right? So that consider how the JSON is being transferred from one database to another database, so that any file format, it should be as a open source, so that whenever if Salesforce try to pull in some Snowflake data, as per here it is mentioned, if it is from the open source, it will be helpful for all the other cloud environments to transfer or connect data from one environment to other environment, so that if they have kept in mind and designed it to support the open source data connectivity too. Okay, let's move on to another slide. And this is the entire difference when we consider the data cloud. Salesforce works based on the row-based relational data. We all know how the relational database work, the traditional RDBMS database that has a foreign key between different tables. But the data cloud is not using that row-based relational database management system. Rather, it uses the columnar-based database, where you might have heard something like this facts and dimension. That's where the data cloud comes into picture, more of the analytics space. But Salesforce, whereas kind of minimalized application, but that is a traditional one. But we all know that Salesforce is built on top of Oracle database, so that it's supposed it is one of the RDBMS database, right? Okay, and the file format supported is .csv and JSON. We can upload the CSV file, right? But the data cloud, when you ingest data into data cloud, it is stored as Parquet format, Apache Parquet format, right? It is one of the columnar format, so it supports faster retrieval of data and then uses lesser storage. That's how the file format is designed. When you see the data lake object, we will go through in the subsequent slide. When you see the data lake object that is available in the data cloud, all the data that are stored in the this Parquet for Apache Parquet format. So that file format. This supports lesser storage and faster retrieval of data. And this is how the you could see this is a general format of the RTMS diagram. Each row is identified based on the primary key, right? But when it's come to data cloud, columnar based data, the entire data is stored like a column wise. Okay, if you see, this is the primary difference between how the data is structured in Salesforce when we compare to the data cloud. We all think data cloud is built on top of Salesforce. But there is a fundamental difference in how the data is being stored across the databases that is running behind the Salesforce. Okay, do you have any questions? Here you could confuse the Apache packet is a file format like a JSON or CSV. The Iceberg is one of the table format that handles all the file formats combined in the combined manner. Let's move to why we move to um, from this traditional RDBMS to columnar based data, why the data cloud decided to move from RDBMS to columnar based dimensional data is this is the reason. You could see that consider if you're trying to store a 1 TB of trying to store a CSV file, okay, with certain data, which is almost similar in the Apache Parquet format also. It takes 1 TB of data in the Amazon S3 bucket. When it comes to the Parquet format, it takes only 130 GB. Okay. Also, you could see the query runtime to query certain records. It takes 236 seconds to query them. But when it comes to Apache Parquet format, it is 6.78 seconds, right? Yeah. To scan, similar to the query runtime, to scan the data, this also takes very less data to scan. That is the temporary memory, right? To scan all the data. And then you could see as the query performance storage is reduced, you could see the reduction in cost. So that's why they have moved to this format in the Parquet format as well as to handle the large volume of data. So what is the drawback of this format that is used in the data like object with the Parquet format? It is not human readable. As we know, CSV and JSON files are readable when we see those files, right? But this Parquet format is not readable. That's why most of the um, this data cloud ingestion needs data transformation once you ingested through any environment like Amazon S3. Once you ingested, it needs to be transformed into any format so that it will be the user readable form. It will be near user readable form. Do you have any questions here? If not, let's move to another slide. This is the technical architecture behind the data cloud. Um, you actually the diagram represents the core technologies that is being used behind the data cloud. This is the technical architecture diagram of the data cloud itself. We could see um, these are the databases and technologies that is being used behind the screen of data cloud. That is how it is being powered as a data cloud when we log in that new data cloud environment. Okay. Yeah. You could see the data visualization activation technique. These we'll go to this point later. And you could see this Amazon S3 bucket, right? This is where the entire bracket format of the data lakes are being stored in the Amazon S3 bucket instead of the relational database, so that the retrieval and the data handling of the large data has become easy. Okay. Don't have time to go through each and everything. These are the fundamental components that is being used behind the screen of the data cloud. Let's move to another slide. Okay. You all know data cloud has core objects to support. That is, one is data source object we call DSO, and then data lake object, DLO, and then we have data model object, right? So um, once you ingest a data, when I say ingest a data, when you bring a data, the name itself implies, right, the name data cloud, it cannot run without any data. So that it needs a data, we need to bring in from any other sources like Amazon S3 or um, through mules of connectors. We need to bring data so that the original format of data will be stored in the JSON or CSV file in the data source object. So, okay, then the data is transformed, the large volume of data is transformed and stored in the data lake object, this DLO that is available in the data cloud. Um, each and this each and every format uh, of each and every data from the CSV or JSON is converted into bracket format, and they are stored in the Amazon S3, that is under the data cloud itself. Okay, that is in the lake object. I say that which is not human readable. Anything that is inside the lake object you cannot readable. So you should be transforming it to the human readable format. Then only you will be able to use it, right? Then that's when come to data model object. What you can do is you have the large volume of data that is stored in the data lake object. You can map them to any Salesforce fundamental object like account, contact, or you can create a custom object. You can map them with the Salesforce metadata format so that it will be one. This is called transformation. Once you mapped successfully all the data lake object from the ingestion to data model object, this is now transformed into a human readable format with columns and rows, right? That is what the data model object refers. So far, do you have any questions? If not, we can move to next. Mm. Okay, now let's come to different terminologies across that we often use in the data cloud. Um, Identity resolution rule sets. In data cloud, identity resolution rule is nothing but um, consider the main purpose of the data cloud is to unify the data for a single customer across different environment. Consider I have a data cloud where I have ingested my marketing cloud data as well as the B2B commerce data. Okay. The customer named Samantha is existing in the marketing cloud environment as well as in the B2B cloud environment. Um, I need to unify her details so that at one point of time I need to get a 360-degree view of uh, her records in a single page. I need to see her marketing cloud data also, and also the whatever the transaction that she did through the B2B cloud also, so that we need to unify the data so that we can get a holistic view of the customer data. So that's where the identity resolution rule sets comes, what we can do is we can set up a um, rules to identify a single customer based on his or her first name, last name, or email. There are several subtypes in the identity resolution matching rules, standard matching rules, everything is there. Some of them you need to create a custom matching rules. For example, Salesforce will automatically group data from different sources for particular user based on first name, last name, SSN, something like that. Okay. Now the Samantha, her profile is unified across different environments uh, by using the rules called identity resolution rules. Okay, this is what the term identity resolution rule sets mean. Do you have any questions here? Okay. Okay, now let's move to another one. There is something called identity resolution reconciliation rules. Okay, we already discussed identity resolution rules, a set of rules that to unify or match a single customer based on the email, first name, last name, or any other SSN or anything. Okay, now let's come into identity resolution reconciliation rules. Consider consider the same user Samantha. Okay. Um, consider her first name is modified in two different data sources. I already told, right, she has marketing cloud data and B2B data. In B2B, her name is considered as Sam, and then in the marketing cloud, if her name is considered as Samantha, means reconciliation rule defines that among these two, what name should the data cloud consider? That's where the reconciliation rule comes to picture, so that we have guided the reconciliation rule to use the recent one that is updated. If she has updated in the B2B as Sam recently, so unified customer data will bring Sam as the name, so that it will be viewed under the customer 360-degree records. Okay, do you have any questions? This is what the primary difference between the identity resolution rules and identity resolution reconciliation rules. Now let's move to data stream. A data stream is an entity which can be extracted from a data source. Consider we have the entire marketing cloud data source that we are bringing in the data by using the marketing cloud starter bundle means. Um, One single object table, for example, contacts table is called data stream. We can map that particular data stream to DMO, data model object, and create a table. That's what the data stream refers. Okay, do you have any questions? If not, we can move to next page. These are the other terminologies that is often used across the data cloud. One is a data ingestion. We all know that the name is a data cloud. It needs a data to work upon it, so that the various process of connecting data into the data cloud is called data ingestion. Okay. Oh, there's some mistake. Okay. Consider data cloud provides several Salesforce connector bundles. One of them is marketing cloud starter bundles. We can use that to directly ingest data from marketing cloud to data cloud. Uh, this is the process called a data ingestion. Okay. Now let's come to calculated insight. What is calculated insight? Uh, you can use a calculator inside to define a calculation multidimensional matrix. What is multidimensional matrix? Let's see the example. Um, Consider there is user. Okay. how many number of orders that he received from the year-end sale that is on the B2B environment. Um, you know about the metrics table, right? The accurate numbers that is called metrics, so that you can query and aggregate on the records that is in the data model object. You can act on the data model object, for example, that you mapped from data lake. You can act on it to query the records for a particular customer or during the year-end sale. That will be the metrics. Okay. For example, one person might have bought um, might have shopped t-shirt 5 times in the year-end sale. That is considered as one of the metrics. Okay, so that we have several options to create a calculator insight. um, the main purpose of the calculator insight to act on the data. Okay, to collect the metrics based on few filters that you can write a SQL or the using the flow builder. There is a calculator insights builder available. You can use that to create a calculator insight. Okay, next, let's move to streaming insight. Okay, streaming insight is also a type of um, calculated insight, but um, it depends on the time when it comes to streaming insight. For example, the number of users logged in during um, the afternoon time between 3 to 5. So it is considered as a streaming insight. Um, Similar to the calculated insight, you can use the SQL expression to metrics on the data sources. This is the example. Intercept active account for customer engagement near real time to drive re-engage. For example, consider your um, sorry. For example, consider you're using the Amazon shopping. Okay. Um, for 6 months you did not log in and purchase anything, so you will be considered as, based on the 6 months time period, you will be considered as an inactive account. You did not purchase anything, or you even open the Amazon website itself. That means you will be considered as an inactive account, so that we can identify the particular customers based on the time period using the streaming insights. Okay, but that is again a type of calculated insight to act on the data. Any questions? Yeah. And finally, segmentation. Finally, let's come to these three terminologies. Segmentation. Segmentation is a breakdown of our data into segment to target audience. For example, I need to segment specific people from North America. Consider I have the entire American continent data. I need to segment a specific people from North America. Means I can target a specific audience from the North America. This is, for example, in Amazon shopping website. If I need to target specific peoples who already has a history of using gift cards, I can target them. This is how the segment. I can segment a group of peoples or the users or the contacts, accounts, or anything. Not when it comes to the gift card or something, the shopping. I'm just saying, for example, this is just for the user, not only for the user. This is for the entire objects. Consider accounts, contacts, or any kind of custom objects too, based on the business use cases. Okay, activation. The term activation means the process of grouping the particular segment. For example, as I said earlier, right, we can segment the North America customers and then consider as a targeted audience. This process is called activation, so that we can use them to create any actions on them. Okay, action means we can send the new offers as email, like that. Okay, now let's move to action. Action, as you know, the name itself refers the action on the specific target audience, sending email to group of users who already purchased um, deliverables using the gift cards. So that also this kind of event triggering an event. This when it comes to the action, not only consider the sending email. There are several events, or you can update the record in Salesforce, or you can update the record in Amazon S3 outside of the environment. Those kind of operation is tied with the action. They are event driven. Okay. And this is the entire pictorial representation that we have from Salesforce. And you could see the different data sources. One, these are from the service cloud, health cloud, and then marketing cloud. These are the CRM data. Okay. These are from the different this is the Redshift external database and the Snowflake different databases. Okay. And some of them to the MuleSoft connectors. Okay. These are basically the data ingestion points where the data comes in. Okay. And then the data is mapped into the data lake and then mapped into the data model objects. Here, when it comes to harmonize, we use the what is called the identity resolution rules to identify the particular customers based on the email first name or group them so that we'll give the unified view, a single source of truth. It will be the consider this user has several logins in different environments. For example, through the health cloud or the any other shop B2B commerce site, she has different environment, she has different logins. Now we are able to get the unified view of this entire customer. So now it is analyze and predict. This is where the prediction calculated insights comes into picture. Here is where we are going to group our segment and the create activation on the particular consider them as activation targets, and then we'll do the act. We will send the email or trigger an event to update the external database. This is how we do. Let's um, let's move to the learning path. This is the primary focus of this entire session. As we developer will get used from the resources here. Most of them are Salesforce partners. As you know, you might have all the partner learning camp access, right? There is a new, there was few co curriculums available. Now it is being removed. The only one available resource is Data Cloud Practical Experience. This is available. I will show you. And then this is the trial head. As you know, this is considered as a trial for the entire data cloud consultant. Um, this one you can only access if you have the partner learning camp access. Okay. And through the partner learning camp access, you can get the demo arc. Sorry, you can get the demo arc from this PLC that will be available for 70 days, I think. Not sure, but we can also request a try or through the this above link, that is the data cloud trial org link. You can use it and create a data cloud trial. It will spin a data cloud trial head arc and it will send the email and um, to reset a password to your trial hard email account that is linked. You can create, but it has very minimal availability. You have only 1 month. It will expire after that. This is the video library which contains all the Salesforce data cloud related video tutorials. And here the highlighted one real is you can find each and everything under this particular link. This data cloud is keep getting updated so that uh, this is the recent link that contains all the resources that is needed for the data cloud. Um, think that's it. Do you have any questions? We have come to end of the session.
Hi Jagdish, Sakshi
Yes.
here. This side.
Yeah.
One question on a very basic front. Like, if we
Yeah.
have tools like Auto ML in Einstein, which can, automatically uh, do the data cleaning and all the process. So why is there a need separately for a data cloud? To start with, if I have to start with a data cloud, will be my primary purpose when I know that there are tools that can
Mm.
automate things already.
Um, Automate with what kind of application do you mention, Sakshi?
Okay. When it comes to Einstein,
Mm.
Einstein as a platform in
Mm.
Salesforce,
Mm.
there is a tool called Auto ML, which
Mm.
automatically does the data cleaning and stuff, right?
Mm.
So I think Data Cloud also is helping us to unify the data and data cleaning all the part.
Mm.
So
Mm.
I just wanted to know if we have something which do not need external efforts from our end. So why we would go again to the Data Cloud?
Actually, the Einstein acts on the only the Salesforce data, right? As you mentioned.
Yes.
Okay, we have very minimal. It can handle very minimal data, right? At a time, we
Mhm.
can have minimum. If you consider maximum, we can handle the 5 million records at a time in Salesforce. But uh, the data cloud is capable of handling more than 5 million records, nearly a petabyte of data, or more than it. That means uh, it it is there to deal with a large volume of data from the different sources. For example, if you have some database, some information stored in the Amazon Redshift, and some information stored in the Snowflake, and some
Mhm.
information stored in any other external database, you can connect everything in data cloud. So you can act on the data by unifying them. So at a time, the data will be keep coming and going in the Salesforce as a streaming in the data cloud. Okay, but when it's come to Salesforce, we need to store entire data, then only we will be able to act on it, right?
Okay, so in this case, when we are considering data from external sources, so
Hmm.
do you mean to say that data isn't entirely stored in data cloud or something like that? I'm not very clear.
We can set up to store
Uh-huh.
data in the data lakes, or we can set up also frequently pull in using the batch transforms. We can use them only for today. We can pull only the particular data and then we can move them. There is something called a batch
Hmm.
ingest. We can use that to pull in data particular amount from the external database and then we can store it in the data lake object.
Okay, okay. Oh, got it, Jagdish. And then
The
on for
the
data cloud
actual
can
pur-
be, yeah, please go
yeah,
on.
go ahead. The main purpose is to unify data from different sources, from all the available customer environments. Uh, we need to act on the data, and if we need to give them, if we need to grow our business beta based on identifying their interest in different areas, so that we are trying to unify from different environments.
Okay, okay,
So when it comes to Einstein is only um, applies to the Salesforce data, so that it, it cannot handle anything that is outside of the Salesforce records. But here Einstein also used in the data cloud in the predictions, um, after we ingest all the data from different sources.
okay. Clear, Jagdish. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, do we have any other questions? If not, we can wrap this meeting. Um, okay, Marisa, shall we wrap this?
Yeah, thanks, Jaydeep. Thanks for the session. Uh,
Thank you.
yeah, thanks, team. We will meet on the
Thank
next
you.
session. Yeah.
Thank you for your wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you very much.